one of the reasons that women don't let themselves fall in love, or that we hold ourselves apart from this space of love, is because of this fear of losing ourselves. And this is very real on a very physical, metaphysical, emotional, spiritual level. I'm reading Naomi Wolf's Vagina new biography right now, and she speaks to this very clearly in that she talks about how, because of women's expanded capacity for orgasm, for transcendental spaces, for multiple orgasms, the intensity of dopamine, oxytocin, and opioids that are released in the female body during the space create a space of really intense bonding. And this can happen in a very short period of time, where we become literally addicted to that space and to the person who is providing that space for us. And from there, when that relationship or when that person says, I don't want to be with you anymore, or it's no longer healthy, or you're moving out of that space, there is this physiological response of addiction, of compulsion to return to that space, to desire to that space. And that is often met with either an inavailability, a knowledge within yourself that this is not a good idea, don't go back there, or a lot of emotional intensity that prevents you from reconnecting in that space, or a recognition that it's just not the right relationship for you to be in anymore, and so you're choosing to make the space between you. And that none of that changes the fact that on a very physiological space, your vagina, your vulva, your like womb uterus space, and the corresponding brain activity that's happening is literally yearning and crying and asking for this person to come back. And when we can see that and acknowledge that as physiologically relevant, as something that is actually happening, that allows for a level of awareness of the process that allows it to move through and allows it to become more clear and more healed faster. And this is something that we need to be aware of and know moving into a space of love. We need to know that this is a possibility, a probability. With the exception of the first time you fall in love, this is always a knowledge that this is true. And seeing yourself having healed from heartbreak in the past, knowing that you've come to a space of more love for yourself, more openness, more connection, instead of shutting down parts of yourself. This is what gives the courage to fall in love again. And so many women are not allowing themselves to be in that space of love, to fall in love again, to fly in love again with another partner, because they're scared of this place of disconnection, of heartbreak. And I'm experiencing this right now, which is part of why I'm talking about it. This place of heartbreak, heartache, like addiction to another person, and to a mental emotional state. And so I understand deeply, and I've journeyed and helped other women through this space of like, I just want to call him. It's like, don't call him, call a friend. Don't call him, call a friend, because it's literally like an addict, like a crack addict being like, just one more fix and then I'll be okay. And it's like, you literally are never okay. There needs to be time and space and healing and integration within yourself that allows you to then return to that space and say, okay, I'm okay now. I'm okay to be with you now, and to understand that we're not interacting in that way anymore, and that you are not the person who's going to help me reach those spaces, and to be okay with that. And to be okay with that. And this is true. This is true, and it's possible. To learn more about conscious relationship transition and how do we as women move on from relationship, go to joygasm.me/transition. No. to learn more about conscious relationship transition and how to move on from the love of your life, from this space of heartbreak, heartache, and profound sorrow at the space of breakup, go to joygasm.me/love22 and get the very first tool that you need to put in place to start healing your heart and to start coming back into center with yourself as your own source of joy and connection. This is really the first step in healing from that space of heartache. And I know because I've been there, and these are all tools that I designed for myself and shared with many others to help them move through these spaces and to help them find love for themselves and love for another again.